Howdy y'all, Michael here. Today is Saturday, July 10th, 2021. We're here in Granbury, Texas, and it's a very windy day here at the lake. We're going to explore the lake as well as the town square, so come hang out with us. Right over here is the Hilton Garden Inn. It looks like they had their own boat ramp and fishing pier here. But we were walking by the sign here. It says maximum capacity 500 persons, I'm guessing for this lake. But they got a sign here for the Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant emergency information. Right here is Lake Granbury, that's where we're at right there. Down there is Squaw Creek, and I actually did my checkout dive at Squaw Creek, and you can hear the pumps going. I went there before they fired up the nuclear power plant. Now, last time I checked, Squaw Creek was closed down after 9/11, 2001. For obvious reasons, but that is the nuclear power plant that's on that lake. They draw the water from Squaw Creek to cool the pipes that carry the heavy water that actually transfers some steam back down to cool water for them to be able to power the turbines there, which is what produces electricity from the nuclear power. Down here is Dinosaur Valley State Park. We've actually been there long ago. We'll go there again sometimes. And of course, Glen Rose, Texas, right there. I stand corrected from a little bit earlier. That is actually the conference center, the Lake Granbury Conference Center. The Hilton Garden Inn is actually over here, hiding behind the tree there. Just noticing this goose here. Looks like they do track him. He's got a little tag on his left leg there. Pretty tame for a goose. Usually when I see a goose or a goose sees me, it starts chasing after me. Very territorial, but this one's pretty calm. Love this walkway here. This is part of the city of Granbury's park system here. As I said before, it's a very windy day at the lake, and they have a beach here. They do have some rentals over here where people rent kayaks and such. What's nice about the beach is there's no cost. It is free. They have public restrooms and somebody manning out here. Services of the city. Very nice. Unlike other lakes that I'm used to, this one has something all the way around it. There's not any state parks or wilderness areas as such. At least not where I can see. We're just commenting how new this bridge looks. It looks like they had an extension here. So all of a sudden the boards changed color here. And this one's seen a bit more time, so it must be on the older part of the bridge, but it's very nice. It goes all the way to the convention center there in the Hilton Garden Inn. We were just noticing these apartments earlier. It'd be nice to live right there because you're right next to the parking lot where the entrance is for the city park here. Also notice there's some boat slips over there, and I'm curious if you can actually leave your boat there. It's kind of choppy there, but if you had an apartment there, do you get to keep a boat here? Is it an extra fee? That'd be kind of cool. And you can look at it from the pool over there. Anytime you come to any new town, you got to check out the visitor center because they will load you up with information. Oh my goodness. We're parking by the visitor center here. Gonna offload a lot of these books over here because that's quite a bit of information they gave me. Across from the parking lot here is this house. If that doesn't scream B&B, I don't know what is. Of course, one of the markers is missing, but the other one is still here. Apparently this was a prominent local businessman and the banker, and this is what you call a Queen Anne style residence. With some classic revival elements. And it's even got the corner turret, formal portico, and two-story columns, and a wraparound porch. Built in 1905. Very nice. And I don't see anything here that's indicating that it is a bed and breakfast, but it would be nice if it was. So just going by the little theater here, old style lights and fans, and the box office right there. They're having a Texas Flood, which we've seen before. They're a Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute band. They're going to be here tonight at 7 o'clock. I love the way this place looks. There are a few places still for lease around here, but I thought this building was pretty interesting. This is the Nut House Hotel, the historic Nut House Hotel. So that building was actually erected for two blind brothers who helped form this area. Both of them named Nut, believe it or not. And right across the street from there is this lady here ringing the bell, letting everybody know that the Nut House, the food is ready at the Nut House. It's dinner time at the Nut House. Lots of wineries out here. Here's the storefront for Barons Creek Vineyards. So we're looking inside this winery here, or the storefront of the winery. They're actually based out of Fredericksburg. And if I'm not correct, that's actually a 48 star flag. So that's a pre-1950s flag right there, when we had only 48 states. But they have a nice selection here. As being a storefront, it does have an upstairs area where you can take your wines and enjoy them. Cool story of this flag. I was talking to the sommelier here, and he said that the flag was actually here from the previous owners, the previous tenants. They didn't want to take it down, neither did the tenants before them or the tenants before them. So it's a pre-1950s 48 star flag, and it stays up here no matter who the tenant is. Well, I appreciate the honesty in any business. This is Pug on a Pontoon. You've been warned, they say bad words. This is the historical town square, and they have a little slogan here, and I'm going to butcher because I'm not quoting it, I'm paraphrasing it. But it's the most historical small town. I've seen at least a half dozen historical markers just on the town square alone. Even when you duck into the back alley here, some truly amazing history here on these buildings. Just noticing this fire escape ladder right here. But they do have a Babe's Chicken, which is right behind me. They have the Silver Saddle Saloon, which is part of the Ice House and Patio. I think the lady recommended that place at the visitor center. But back here somewhere is Christina's, the backside of Christina's, and we asked if we can get a dinner reservation. She was like, nope, sorry. She told us we can stop by at 5 o'clock. It's a different Christina's than we're used to in Dallas. It's a nice American style food there. And Austin, by the way, Austin, thank you for being our subscriber from the winery storefront we were there at. Recommended Christina's for their steaks. So apparently they have really good steaks there at Christina's. I love the ivy over here. The small shops here. Including a jeweler shop right here. If you're into jewelry or making jewelry, I have a good friend of mine. Her name's Marcy. Check out the channel Marcy Creates on YouTube. She makes and sells jewelry, so check them out. Check her out. She's really... We got some of her pieces as well. Plenty of little joints here. Right here we have the Pearl Street Station. Got their pit burning right now. Sometimes all you need is a taco. Yeah, it's a multi-unit, but they got good tacos. If any of y'all are fans of Revolver Brewing, they're actually based out of Granbury. Proud to call it Granbury home. Over here at the courthouse, a lot more Americana going. This courthouse here is made out of native stone, which I believe is going to be limestone, which most of the county courthouses were made out of. In fact, you can see some of the attorneys that were here at the time. The county attorney, the sheriff and collection person, county clerk, and the district clerk. But this is actually the 5th courthouse that was built on this property here. The first one was actually a log cabin built in 1867. This building, it was built and then reinforced with steel later on after it was completed. Instead of building a steel structure first, they put it in later. Last time we were out here, at least a couple decades ago, we went to the Opera House and watched a Christmas presentation they had there. And Ryan was quite little. I believe that was before Noah was around. And They took Ryan up on stage. I just remember him looking up there, cute as could be, frozen as could be as well. These flags are right next to the sidewalk. I've already been hit in the head twice by them. Right here by the cornerstone, which was done by the Masons here, with the county judge listed and the builders of the building, is a time capsule. Sponsored by the Granbury Rotary Club. It's to be open in 100 years, so in the year 2100, March 25th, it will be open. I'm really curious what's in it. Every town's got to have their gazebo, but this one's interesting. It's sharing the same plot of land as the courthouse here. It's actually pretty amazing, but that's a functional clock. Amazing to see those still working. Just prowling around here. Came across the Hood County Jail Museum from 1885 to 1978. Pretty reasonable. $5 for adults, $2.50 for kids. Just looking at the wall here, there are some old school insulators there. Green and white. Sure that was for power. One thing's for certain, they really value their history here. Another time capsule. Buried on the site March 8th, 1986, dedicated to J. Howard Clemens, our general, Granbury, to be open March 8th, 2036. The person running the museum here, I'm wanting to show you the end of it because y'all need to get out here. This is a pretty amazing little museum full of history. The area we're in right now is actually the sheriff's home. But amazing rich history, and make sure you talk to the people up front. They'll tell you a lot of the history of this area. Looks like over here we got the dispatch room. For those who really like Batwing radios, check out that old Motorola. And to let you know what a Batwing is, that's the logo on Motorola's trademark there. And they do have a section on the education of the area, including some diplomas to look at, including the old classic McGuffey readers. I love to read through that history, but good gosh, they look fragile. And they do have an exhibit on a place called the Colony. This is not the colony we live in, but it was actually the area of town where after the emancipation, the slaves resettled in this portion of the town called the Colony. We're upstairs here in the jail portion, and they had these steep stairs to come up on. They said if you did come up here voluntarily, they would describe a couple ankles and pull you up here, or by the hair. That they said that usually only happened once with these people. A little police history here. We're only showing you a part of this jail because there is so much more here. And here's the cells. Oh my goodness. This was open until 1978. And there's the lever to unlock everything. Okay, they did put a toilet and a sink in here. And they did have a light bulb here. The lady downstairs was telling us earlier that when they first put power in here in 1909, wasn't 1900s, she doesn't think that they put power up on the upstairs. She figured when it got dark outside, it's time for them to go to bed anyways. Looks like Nathan Baker was in here. And what I'm seeing there, they made 78. I thought that said 18 something. But there's another one over here, etched in from 1896. The Poly jail system. It's a freestanding jail. The bang this lever produced as it closed the cell doors started the name, the Slammer. There are a few notable people from Granbury. One of them would be Mr. Peter Mayhew. One other, it's a bit controversial, and that's why we're here. at the spot right now. This was not the grave we were looking for, but we were at the Granbury Cemetery here, and I came across here of a grave for the family of Ashley W. Crockett, grandson of Davy Crockett. Here lies Ashley Wilson Crockett. This is the grandson of Davy Crockett. Born 1857, died in 1954. Most of these are graves from the 20th century, except for these two, which is Ilva, who died as an infant, and Ada, that died before she was 2 years old. The grave we're about to look at is actually quite a controversial grave because this person was thought to be shot and killed in 1882. This person is claiming to be that person and says somebody else was buried in this place. Here's a grave for a Jesse Woodson James. Born September 5th, 1847, died August 15th at 103 years old in 1951. But he was supposedly killed in 1882. The story is Jesse James was actually, well, I'm not going to say allegedly killed in Missouri in 1882, but the rumor is, and according to Frank Dalton, who later claimed that he was indeed Jesse James, the story is he actually survived and was not killed. Somebody else was buried in his place, so he faked his own death. So that's the story here. And you talk to anybody in the Granbury area, and they said this is Jesse James. They're not going to take any other answer for that, and they're not subscribing to any anything that differs from that. And what's interesting is they actually exhumed the grave in the late 1990s and stated that the DNA did not match Jesse James's grandson. And the grandson flat out said, no, he is buried in Missouri. He is not buried here. This is Frank Dalton's grave. However, a lot of people around here are saying they dug up the wrong bones. Frank J. Dalton did claim that he was the real Jesse James in 1948. He applied for and received a Confederate pension from the state of Texas as John Dalton, born March 8th, 1948. Oh, I'm sorry, 1848. He later claimed to have been in every war since 1963, and that he was gassed while serving with the Canadian Army during World War I. And just a correction there, if I said it wrong, his full name was John Frank Dalton. So J. Dalton is what he was normally known as, but he is claiming to be Jesse James, and that's what the controversy is. Is this John Dalton? John Frank Dalton, or is this Jesse James buried here? You are not going to convince the people of Granbury otherwise. In fact, they put a street sign up here marking the grave. I thought this was just interesting. Sammy Lee Sam, born January 17, 1933, died March 4th, 2006. Korean War veteran. His last name is Wainscott, and I'm guessing this is his wife. Alpha Omega Redden. That is such an interesting name. Well, glad you got to hang out with us. That was the city of Granbury, the most historical small town. That's what they say. It's not really a small town, but it is a smaller town with a lot of history in here. But until next week, y'all take care, be safe, bye.